This podcast is a production of Unfiltered Studios. If you would like to know more about joining Unfiltered Studios, please visit our website at unfpod.com for more information.
Oh my god, it's a bird. It's a plane. It's the B-movie fanatic himself.
Hey, man, can you hear me okay?
Yeah, how about you? But because it's been a minute, here's a new game we're playing called No Budget Filmmaking Disasters. We've
What is Uwe Boll for the win? Although I did like Far Cry, to be fair, but yeah.
This is a fun game. Basically, this is all based on one speed. It's a simple enough premise where basically the studio has brought you in as a fixer for a movie, and you can do whatever you want. You can even blackmail the mafia-owing producer or even commit murder, although we don't recommend that. But the only thing that's off limits that you cannot do is just being like, you know what, this movie sucks, I'm not gonna do it. Like, you can't sue.
So you can murder somebody. So murder is allowed, but you can't sue and counter.
Right. You can go as far as you want in terms of fixing, but you can't just like be like, you know what, man, this is too much trouble. I'm not gonna, mess with this movie. So
all right.
I give you basically everybody's had a different one. I've given them everything from actors who refuse to curse to perverted cameramen to just all other sorts of shit. And I figured I'm going to give you one just very simple, but not. So basically, the crew that you're supervising is filming a creep show, Outer Limits type anthology show. It's supposed to make web series be a thing again.
Yeah. Hang on give me 1 second real quick. Hang on, sorry. Give me 1 second, sorry.
Oh, good.
Sorry about that. I need to quiet the neighbors down. I need to get a production studio.
I do too.
Oh, if only, or at least an office with a door on it. All right, so let's do this.
So yeah, you're supervising an anthology type show. It's supposed to
like a Friday the 13th kind of thing or whatnot.
Yeah, a creep show, Outer Limits. It's supposed to kind of make web series be a thing again. Viewers are hyped for it, despite it being produced by an infamous horror remake factory. One of the writers has been sued for stealing someone else's work, and he's the showrunner. Furthermore, the trailer has been released with unfinished visual effects. So how do you fix this from becoming a clickbait gossip nightmare online?
How to fix it? Well, first, I have someone put together an episode with the unfinished graphics and make it seem as if that was the intent to do.
I love it, man.
That the episode that's from is actually an episode about filming that show.
Perfect. So, because you've gone above and beyond, people have made you be the showrunner now, since the other hacks don't have any imagination and don't know how to visualize or communicate with the producers. So you're ahead of the curve. You've shut down all the trolls online, all that smack. And then, unfortunately, one of the actors is complaining about how they look in the final cut, and they're friends with one of the producers. How do you get rid of this melodrama and remind them to, put them in their place?
Throw acid in their face. No, I'm kidding. Oh, they're concerned with how they look on camera, huh? So there's a couple options. And one of the producers, where do I fall in the producing line? Am I just a director?
You can do anything. Like, you can even
am I the executive producer?
Yeah, you're basically the studio guy. Like, because you have a good reputation for fixing stuff that's, behind schedule. Like, you kind of have a bigger say than, the Joel Silvers of the town.
Okay, so we don't know what this script is that this actor is supposed to be in, right? He just doesn't like
Since
how he
you're the
looks on TV.
showrunner, you have final dibs on it, but basically, like, you can
Well,
do anything.
I discuss with the actor and say, hey, if you're not comfortable with how you look on film, perhaps we give you more like voice work and give him a CGI character, such as a monster or a robot or something, depending on what the script calls for, and
Perfect.
have him do the motion capture for it.
Wonderful. So the ungrateful actor gets to play a killer robot, but as a
Works for me.
result, despite not being still dissatisfied with the experience, gets a big giant voice career on the side. So he's laughing his way to the bank, and he shuts up.
And the episode airs.
The episode airs. So the episodes are great, but there's a disgruntled crew member who's going by and trolling every single episode. But fortunately, you know where he lives. What do you want to do?
The key is you can't retaliate right away, because then they'll know it was you.
Mm-hmm. But at the same time, he's being a dick and kind of wrecking your mojo.
Sure, but you don't want the bad press getting out that you're vindictive or whatever, right? Like you want to kind of act like you're taking the higher ground.
Oh, that's the beauty. You can do whatever you want.
That's true. But I'm just thinking along how I would, what I would do is, are magazines still a thing? Like physical magazines?
Probably
do they still make those? Okay.
Definitely more than newspapers. So I mean, you can blacklist them. You can do whatever.
So this is a multi-pronged approach. First, we start filling out all those little business reply cards, no matter where we find them, any store, anything, no matter what the topic is, with his address, and send them all in. That way he just starts getting a ton of weird mail, right? Then I hire some teenagers to troll him back. Especially like 13, 14-year-olds, because 13 and 14-year-olds, when they make fun of you, it's because they're not just making fun of you, they're making fun of something that actually like is you. Like if you walk with a limp, they're like, yo, Mr. Limp Man, that kind of thing.
Okay, perfect. So he decides,
but he doesn't get trolled on the internet. Here's the beauty of it.
Right.
I just have them follow him about a half block behind.
So because of the intimidation, he decides to quit the industry because he realizes what a shit talker he is. And YouTube later deletes those comments since they have spam in some of them.
Yeah, that works. I also had the idea of having him followed around by a mariachi band or a marching band.
You do that as well, and then he definitely decides to move to a different state, which working for a job less than what he used to make. So perfect. Yeah.
I also filmed the entire process, blurring his face out so he doesn't get royalties, and air it as an episode.
Oh, there you go. So that episode ends up winning a Webby Award. Yes, they still give those for web-based content.
Oh, and one last thing to make that even better: any money from that particular episode, I donate to charities.
There you go. So, man, dude, you're ruthless. I love it. We had other guys who were stalling or who were like, well, I could do this. It's like, no, you get a say. You are fearless. You can do whatever. It's just there's going to be a cool response and a backlash for every action you take. So
yeah, I'm trying to think outside the normal typical LA box, right? Like, typically it's like you send like a Shylock or someone like and get Shorty to deal with the guy, right? One of my favorite movies of all time, by the way.
Yeah, great movie. But, especially the part where they're like, Danny DeVito is Napoleon.
Right. So I try to think outside that box, So
okay, perfect. So as a result, another in-between studio that's producing stuff for Lionsgate, Sony, and Universal decides, hey man, how about we make you a head unit production manager, line producer, and director for a new show that we're producing? And
do I get quadruple the pay since I'm doing 4 jobs now?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It's free things. They're
I'm
like,
doing
you're the only guy.
I'm doing 4 or 5 jobs at work right now and getting paid for one. So
that was going to cost everyone millions and make web series be laughable again, and you won them all these awards, and they made their money back on ads and everything. So they trust you as opposed to some of the other music video guys who have no imagination or.
I have no idea who you're talking about. No, I'm kidding.
So congrats, you win the game.
Oh, nice. I enjoyed that. That was good. I like that. That was pretty fun. That was pretty
We-
clever. I like that idea for a game.
Well, I've been
You've given me
developing.
an idea for a fantastic MMORPG.
Oh, perfect.
Like there was a game years ago called, I think it was a Sid Meier's game, maybe it was called The Movies, and you ran a movie studio in the golden age of cinema and
Didn't they do that
onward.
with The Sims as well? I think.
Oh, they made an add-on for The Sims, and there is a new one out that I haven't played it yet. But I thought, why don't they make an MMORPG about you making a movie studio?
Right?
And then you have millions of little studios popping up online with all these people playing it, vying for attention, and you could like
Mhm.
sabotage the other's ad campaigns and stuff. I think that'd be great.
I mean, especially with all the people trying to do knockoffs of Succession and Breaking Bad and even
Mm-hmm.
Lord of the Rings now is like, yeah, you could have
Oh yeah.
some kind of cool, just kind of, you can do this action, but it'll cost you this much money. It's
Mm-hmm.
almost like Grand Theft Auto, where like the heat will be that, hey, you're
You've
famous, but you're difficult to work with, or whatever.
or like Fallout, you've gained with this faction, lost with this faction, kind of.
Yeah, you're not on good terms with this
Yeah.
uh, turf, but you can bribe your way back in or something like that.
Oh, there you go. Now it's a true Hollywood way.
They would do that with Mercenaries and a few other ones. Yeah, I mean, that's a perfect example of how you look at other infamous producers like Amy Pascal, and you're like, why does anyone want to work with you again? You're got all these unprofessional emails. My God.
Yeah, there's so many difficult to work with directors, producers, and actors. And I always thought to myself, is the headache really worth it? Like, because
No.
it doesn't always work out. Like
Well,
the film, like perfect example is The Rock with Sean Connery.
uh,
He hated Michael Bay. Michael Bay? Yeah, no, Michael Bay.
yeah,
Yeah.
no, you're right. And
He hated that type of movie. He hated, and it's like, dude, you've been in Hollywood a long time. You read the script,
right.
like you knew what it was about,
Yeah,
and you
it
knew who
was
was the producer and whatnot.
it was a loose James Bond sequel with Michael Bay. Yeah, it's funny
Yeah.
how, but that's the other thing too. Like the movies, so often, especially with Apocalypse Now or even Street Fighter, is made in the editing room, and having to remind people is like you don't have to enjoy those 5 months. There might be weather conditions. There might be just work permits or other
Oh
bullshit
yeah,
that's
it's not
come
always
out.
fun.
No,
You
and
know, it,
I was doing extra work on one production, and there was this total prick who decided, I want your scene to get deleted, so I'm going to give you more to carry, knowing damn well I couldn't carry that much. So I just looked awkward in the background. So they cut my
yeah,
scene.
jeez.
It's
Well,
like he must have just seen how I was talking to his girlfriend at the time or something. I'm like, dude, I'm not here to get pussy or anything. I'm here to talk and be curious and everything and learn about how this thing works. And he just was clearly insecure and just wanted to stomp on anybody who was nearby him. And so that's
well,
my other
yeah.
deal too, is just coming across the pricks who, but I think I had the last laugh because I don't think he's getting much work now in the industry. And I'm just like, yeah, yeah.
No,
And trust me, I have done many indie films where actors pull the I'm religious card and I refuse to curse, but then you see him cursing in something else and they're like, oh yeah, because it was paid. I'm like,
yeah.
you
Well, it's funny. It's
contrarian.
funny. Money always talks, right?
You give
Uh,
me this BS story that I don't want my kid to see that. Your kid's never going to be interested in what you're doing. So what are you talking about?
and kids curse. Mine flicked me off today. She's 6.
Oof.
Ugh, I don't know what I created. I really don't. You've done a lot of films and you've been in a lot of indie films and stuff and worked on a lot of them. Have you ever
Yes.
seen Living in Oblivion with Steve Buscemi?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Oh, okay, good. I was gonna say if you haven't seen that, that's the movie for you.
Good
Because
example of just everything is hitting the fan, and yet
yep,
his passion shields him from every disappointment in life, from
until
having to take out a loan.
until the end.
Right, until the end. No, but I
Yeah,
think
but
that's why people like it too. It doesn't feel like a clean getaway. It's not like a heist movie where they had it in the bag before they, did the
right,
robbery.
right. Oh yeah,
It's,
but great movie though.
yeah, no, very, very cool and
And
very well
and
shot.
I think and I think it's like you would know better than me. I actually had a small role or two small roles in an indie movie about 2 years ago.
Whoa.
About yeah, and I got killed by a Wendigo in one
Ah,
scene, and I was cheering in the background with a BB gun, as a militia member hunting the Wendigo in another scene, which we filmed out front of a guy's house with no permits, as his neighbors were all driving by wondering, why are all these people out here with guns wearing camo? Apparently they filmed lots of these indie films in front of this guy's house. So most neighbors and cops know what goes on, but the newer ones don't. But I think that it was shot on like a handheld like Canon like camera.
Perfect.
Like I have a Sony like A6000 and it shoots 4K and it shoots really well. Or even my GoPro shoots really well. And this guy was using like a 6-year-old Canon like just handheld.
Yes.
And they've made like 10 movies or 15 movies or something.
It's lovely, dude. I saw some people making slashers before Amazon stopped accepting them, but now you can put it on Tubi, you know.
Yeah, there's Tubi. I'm apparently I'm on the back of the DVD cover, and I believe it's available at Walmart. So, or was. Don't know if it still is.
Send me a link, man. I'd love to buy it and support.
I would totally do it. I have yet to watch it because I was not prepared to like act. Like, so I went there to help out, right? I figured, okay, I could help with like some of the carrying stuff, setting stuff up, whatever. And then he's like, hey, you then they're like, hey, could you wear some camouflage? I'm like, okay. Thinking I'll just be standing around as an actor. Then he's like, hey, I need somebody to get killed by the Wendigo. Could you do it? And then like I was not prepared to do any acting. So I'm sure the death scene is horrible. Like there's no doubt in my mind it's just not good at all. So I'm like, I told people about it a little bit. And they're like, we gotta watch it. I'm like, like, I'll bet the movie's not bad, but my scene probably horrible. It's called Wendigo, the Wrath on Human Garbage. And yeah.
I did a terrible like
and this is nothing against the writer or director. James Bach. It's 2A, so I assume it's Bach, not Beck. Great, really nice guy. Really passionate. Him and his friends do a lot of hard work, but like me, I sucked. I'm sure I did.
I'm sure you can grow.
I don't know. I haven't been asked back yet, so I don't know.
Only time will tell.
But yeah, I back to, sorry we got distracted there in a way, but back to that movie, Living in Oblivion to me really like shows what indie filmmaking must have been like in the 90s in LA. Like you would know more than me, but I would think that's a pretty accurate portrayal of what most indie filmmakers go through.
I'm sure he had to, Buscemi had to be inspired by all the other indie guys he was working with. And
yeah.
I mean, look at the original Terminator. That's filmed without a bunch of permits. And it seems like, you know, it's not uncommon. I'm cool with not using permits, just have kind of an unspoken word like, okay, there's a security guard coming. Let's move, you know.
Let's get the hell out of here. Yeah.
Right. Or let's pull I'm a student filmmaker and I have a so-called, you know, permission from this person who doesn't exist, but we want to convince you does. You know?
Or you say a name and it turns out that guy's name's the same thing. No, I'm kidding. Well, I mean, the movie Maniac was shot without permits in the late 70s.
Yeah. What's his name? Yeah. Who?
And I did a review of that movie I guess long ago on my podcast. And you know, I had never seen it, right? And James recommended it and I watched it, and overall as a movie, it's not a bad movie.
No. Like
even the shots and stuff, a lot of the direction and stuff isn't horrible. They just had no money and they did it on the fly with no permits. And that part does show, but I mean, it's a really gritty like film. It's not not actually bad. I mean, it's, you know, it's really weird at the end, but yeah.
But what's really funny is hearing William Lustig talk about like doing, like you say, with stuff like that in Vigilante, doing stuff without permits, and then you would hear he was getting help from the guy who did stuff like The Exterminator and a bunch of other McBain and a bunch of other low budget stuff, and he would say in interviews, oh, he's a little too extreme for me. And it's like, dude, I know you've done your share of no permits, you know. So
is it still called Gonzo filmmaking? That's what it was called like years ago.
I think
now I'm showing my age a bit, but
Gonzo is similar. I think that now mainly they use that for like perverted kind of stuff. So I mean, guerrilla filmmaking is the term I hear.
Okay,
now.
we'll go with that. Well, you know what else? You know, and so Maniac didn't have a lot of like action scenes on the streets or nothing, right? I mean, they were driving around filming stuff,
right?
The video for Sabotage by the Beastie Boys was all shot without permits. They're jumping cars over hills. and kicking down doors in hotels and shit. And there's no permits. They had no permits for any of that.
That's probably why the music video stood
Was
out.
so good.
It was right. It was just more raw.
I grew up, I was born in 77, so I grew up a little bit in the 70s, but when I was a kid, I remember seeing shows from the 70s syndicated, and a lot of early 80s stuff still had that 70s feel.
Mhm.
That video captured the 70s like cop genre so damn good. Like it was so
Yeah.
good.
It
Oh,
looked like
man.
it had been shot in that time. Yeah.
Oh, it was perfect. I mean, it was great.
Oh
But
man.
yeah, so you could see me get killed if you want. So
I will check it out.
I wonder if it's got a rating. I should look it up.
It'll probably submit it unrated. That's the other thing too.
There is
People are-
no rating. There's no ratings for it on it's only an hour and a half. I mean,
Sounds like a good time.
We'll return after these messages.
Hey, it's Brent Pope, the host of Breakfast with Brent Pope. You've seen me on some of your favorite TV shows saying things like, "Give it up, Jimmy. You got to sink this putt to win." On Breakfast with Brent Pope, I sit down with guests from the entertainment world, and we do it all over breakfast. Or should I say Brentfast? Every week on Brentfast, you get inside Hollywood info and tips, great breakfast recs and booty debates. Most of all, you get the most delightful 30 minutes of your week. So dig in. It's Brentfast time. Listen at Brentfast.com, Apple Podcasts, or wherever fine podcasts are found.
Do you ever find yourself thinking about who would win in a fight between Goku and Superman? Hi, I'm James Gavsey, and on the Who Would Win show, me and my co-host Ray ignore anything important happening in the outside world and debate fictional battles between characters from comics, movies, and video games.
We got a new show every week, and almost always am I the winner.
Yeah, not true, Ray.
In the past, we've discussed such matches as Captain America versus Darth Vader, Solid Snake versus the Iron Giant, classic matchups like RoboCop versus Terminator, and even the Muppets versus Sesame Street.
That one was crazy. So if you're a fan of geek culture and love a spirited debate, check out the Who Would Win show wherever you get your podcasts, or check us out at whowouldwinshow.com.
Follow us on the web on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. The podcast is available on Podbean, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Anchor, Apple, and anywhere else podcasts are available. Feel free to review our show and leave comments on any of those sites. Thanks a million for listening.
It's a jacked up